What's up internet? My name is Ick, coach of the Mariachi Motras, and today we are going to face Madosk, who is the coach of the Twilight Notos. His link will be in the description down below. And we are going to face a really big task ahead of us because he does have Magerna and Togekiss, both of which are a threat to my team because I do have Hydreigon and Greninja as my main offensive mons, and they are kind of like, they're not the fastest, but they are the ones that kind of usually are my offensive answers to things. I do have a Crobat as well, but Crobat doesn't really do anything to Magerna. If any, Crobat kind of gives Magerna free switching, and that's not what I wanted, so that's why I prepared this team that you see right here. Hirachi is an offensive variant, physically offensive variant with Substitute, Drain Punch, Substitute, Power of Punch, Iron Head, and Heartstem, which, as you can see, aside from the Slowbro can sweep my whole opponent's team, is kind of a great kind of a variant that I came up with because behind a sub I can prevent him from Thunder Waving my mons, which is a thing he likes to do, or that I saw that he likes to do on his matches. And behind a sub I can just flinch stun most of his threats. I also have Expert Bug Greninja, physically especially defensive Hippowdon, I'm sorry, to kind of take better the Ice Beam coming from Magerna and punch it back with an Earthquake. I have mixed defenses with Quagsire so that I can take a Floor Cannon and then recover some of that health back with Citrus Berry and take another Floor Cannon, which is going to come in handy on this match. I have Toxic Spikes, Roserade, Emborg with Substitute, and it's a mixed variant with Grass Knot, Flare Blitz, and Super Power. And that's it. My opponent did brought the Togekiss, the Magerna, this Slowbro, which is a good way to deal with Emborg. It has his Mamoswine, which is a big threat overall, Weezing as a physical wall, and his Ambipom, which will most likely be his lead, but since I didn't saw any ways for him to remove hazards, unless he had defog with his Togekiss, but his team was looking kind of slow, so I was kind of expecting his Togekiss to be offensive. So I'm just going to lead off with my Roserade and see if I am able to set up Toxic Spikes. If he does decide to lead with Ambipom, that's okay by me because I do have a very good counter on Hippowdon, and there's really nothing Ambipom can do back to Hippowdon aside from Ice Punch or probably Seed Bomb, but both of those moves doesn't really deal that much damage to Hippowdon because, you know, Hippowdon is just fat overall. This is max HP with mostly specially invested to take at least +1 Ice Beam from Magerna, and I do have the Rocky Helmet to deal damage to his physically offensive threats, which will be Komo and Mani, which is in this case Ambipom. Now, he did fake out and he took some damage from that as well from the U-turn, which he later did, and this is going to allow me to set up my Stealth Rocks, which will come in very handy during the rest of the match because I am going to be able to chip down his Mamoswine and possibly break a Sash if he does have that. I am going to chip down the Weezing, the Slowbro, the Magerna, and actually chipping down Magerna is going to be very important because if that thing is dead, I am going to be able to sweep him with my Ash Greninja. So I'm just going to bring in here my Quagsire. I was banking on this Mamoswine to not have Freeze Dry, and if it did, I really didn't mind that much because Quagsire doesn't really do that much against my opponent. If I do get up in a position where I can be offensive, Magerna is not really that scary if I am out with my Emborg. So I am just going to bring in my Quagsire, I'm going to scare him up, and I am going to make a double switch predicting either Weezing or his Slowbro, and I am going to bring in Greninja. And this is perfect because he did switch into his Weezing. If he decides to stay, that's fine by me. If he does have Thunderbolt, it's going to deal a lot of damage to my Greninja, but it's not going to kill me unless he's somehow specs, but he's Black Slush as we can see. And he does decide to switch, he is going to go back into his Alice, which is his Magerna. And that's perfect because this is going to allow me to deal some chip damage to this Magerna and also to find out what kind of Magerna this is. Now, after the damage, because I did dealt about 25% to it, or probably 22%, I kind of realized that he was most likely a Soul Vest or very heavily invested into special defense. And because of this, I am going to switch right back out into my Quagsire, expecting either a ball switch from his part or probably a floor cannon. He did floor cannon me, and that's fine by me because after the special attack drop and after Quagsire eating his citrus berry, I am going to be out of range, or it's probably a roll where floor cannon might or might not be able to kill me. If he does decide to take the risk and kills me, I can go back into Ember and just scare it out or go behind us up and start killing things. Or if he switches out, I'm just going to recover, go back to full, and Quagsire is looking nice and pretty again here, and it didn't really take any damage from it, not even a scratch. We're gonna go back into Camusito, which is my Rosary, because I realized Wizzing really cannot touch me aside from Fire Blast or probably Flamethrower. Those are his best options to hit me with. He does reveal that he has Infestation, so this is most likely a trapping set, and I am going to take this opportunity to deal some damage to this Wizzing because I do want to lower it down to the point where it doesn't really matter if I bring in my Ember and I can't kill it with Flare Blitz. So I am just going to go for the extrasensory. He did stay and went for Flamethrower, but he was really punished by that because I put him down to probably 12% after that damage, and after Black Slush he is in range of dying to any of my mon's attacks, even Waterfall from Quagsire because it's a physical variant. It has, if I remember correctly, I think it was a Curse variant with Waterfall, Recover, and Earthquake. So I am going to, scare out that Wizzing. I went for Giga Drain here because I was expecting him to either switch or stay. Either of both worked for me because Giga Drain did kill the Wizzing, and if he decided to switch, I was going to deal a lot of damage to probably to any of his mons really, and if he went to Togekiss, I was going to be able to find out if he was a Scarf or not. So he did decide to bring in Magearna. I'm going to set up my Toxic Spikes, and it's almost at 25%. After Starrock's damage, it's looking like it's going to be at 25%. I mean at 50%, which is great for my Greninja because I am going to be able to hit KO that thing. Now I'm just going to sack off my Rosary. I decided that because this was most likely a Soul Best, he was not going to be able to set up on me, so I didn't take that many risks right there. And this is going to allow me to bring in my Ember on a free switching, and this is going to be perfect because he does decide to switch out. I am going to be able to go behind us up, and now it's time to wreak some havoc on my opponent's team. He doesn't really have that many good switchings, especially with the mixed coverage that I am bringing. I am just going to go for Flare Blitz. My opponent decided to sack his Wizzing. With Stealth on the field and such, he really didn't have any excuse to preserve his Wizzing, so it kind of makes sense for him to just let Wizzing go down. Now he's going to bring in his Slowbro, showing that this is probably his main answer for my Ember, which it makes sense because he's Psychic and Water and it does covers Fighting and Fire very good. But I do have the Grass Knot. Now as I said, I am a mixed set. I am a hasty nature, so this is a neutral nature, not really invested in special attack Grass Knot. I have about 24 EVs I think, just so that I make sure that it's a 2-hit KO with Toxic Spikes damage. And he does decide to go for Slack Off, probably scouting to see what I wanted to do. Also to put himself on a higher range of HP if I decided to switch or do kind of something crazy. Or if I went for Wild Charge, he was going to be able to stall me out with Slack Off. But I am not a Wild Charge variant, and he is not packing the Rocky Helmet, which is great because I am not taking any recoil damage or extra damage from my attacks. And that's good because since I am not taking any extra damage, he is really in a bad position here and he might lose his Slowbro if he decides to stay. So thinking of this and that my opponent might want to preserve his Slowbro, I'm just going to go again for another sub and see what my opponent wanted to do. If he decided to stay, I could just Grass Knot again. If he switched, well, I am behind a sub and I am going to be able to kill something else because with the hazards that I have on the field, he really doesn't have any ways to resist 2 hits coming from my Ember. Now Togekiss is going to go here for the Air Slash. It was possibly his best option at the moment. and I'm just going to go here for a Flare Blitz to kill it off. Now he had a chance to resist if he was fully HP invested, and he wasn't. I think that was his Scarfmon, because his team was looking kind of slow aside from Ambipom, and it was probably a Scarfmon with kind of trying to flinch down things with Air Slash, which is a great thing to do, but not good for me because I was his opponent. Luckily for me, he decided to kill off his Togekiss, and now he's going to bring his Ambipom, which, because he's faster than me, is going to be able to threaten me out. He's most likely going to go for a Fake Out. He could risk it and go for a U-turn, but if he actually did that, I wasn't really in a bad position because I still did have most of my Pokemon back, aside from Rosary, and I could sack off probably Quagsire or Hippowdon depending on the switching. So I'm going to bring in Hippowdon. He decides to Fake Out, and then he decided to Ice Punch to see if he could kill me off. Now I am not even fully physically defensive, and Ice Punch really didn't did that much. Probably Seed Bomb might have been able to kill me, or it was a closer roll, but it wasn't. It was Ice Punch, which is great for me. So I went for the Earthquake. I just wanted to kill the Ambipom or the switching if he decided to switch, because he doesn't really have that many answers for my Ember at this point. And I thought, well, maybe he wants to preserve the Ambipom, I don't know. But if he did, well, I was going to be able to deal damage to any one of his switchings. Now I'm just going to sack off my Hippowdon, and decided I didn't really need it anymore. What I really needed was just to bring in Greninja once and kill off something, because at this point everything is in range from one hit KOing or 2 hit KOing. Now he decided to switch out his Mamoswine, and he's going to bring in Magearna. Thinking a bit more about that, he probably should have sacked either the Slowbro or his Mamoswine, and then bring in Magearna, because he was really not at range of taking 2 Surf at this point of the match. Maybe he forgot about rocks, I don't really know. He didn't say that on his side of the match. But I went for the Surf, and as expected, another Surf is going to kill off this Magearna. And this is great because it's going to give me my Ash Battle Bond form with this, and since I am Expert Belt, I'm going to be able to switch out moves and just to kill off and sweep the rest of my opponent's team, which now consists of only Slowbro, which is going to come in here. As expected, maybe he thinks that I am choice locked into Surf, but I am not. I am able to switch here into Dark Pulse, and I'm just going to kill off that thing. And later Mamoswine is going to come in, and aside from Ice Shard, it cannot really touch me unless the surprise Scarfmon that he kind of bluffed perfectly, but it really wasn't. I'm just going to go here for a Surf, and just to kill off this, I'm just going to kill off this Mamoswine here, and it's going to be the end of the match. The match came out perfectly. Honestly, I couldn't be happier with this match, especially because it was a really tough matchup for me, and I was really able to offensively pressure my opponent to the point to where Magearna wasn't able to come in on me offensively. It was mostly trying to defend itself, and yeah, everything worked perfectly. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below, leaving your suggestions and such. And also watch my opponent's side of the match. As I said, it's going to be in the description down below. And please support the Mariachi Motras, because we are going to be champions eventually. I hope so. We are on playoffs at this point, and I hope I can do great and better every fucking match. So take care, guys. I love you. See you later. Goodbye.